Hello and welcome to NBTVee. This is the talk show, the first one. So tonight we're going to talk about, we're going to do some unboxing. Stephen's brought a product with him.
Yep.
So we'll do that later on during the show. As well, we're going to talk a little bit of tech. Gab's got some information for us, what he's unaware of right now, but he'll get into that. And then we've got, we're going to have some tips and Easter eggs, so we're going to talk about some of those ones. I found an old one back in my day.
Oh, yeah?
So that's what I'm more excited about, showing something from my old days of playing Nintendo. Then we're going to deep dive into a game, so that's going to be quite fun, talking about one of the games. Then we're going to talk about what games are getting made. You've written some things already down, Stephen, what games have been made, so I like that. We're going to talk about what's coming up in the world of gaming, so what's been happening. Then we're going to have, my favourite is the best clips from Twitch. So I'll pick the top 6, what literally are the top 6, what were 2 days ago on Twitch. So we're going to have play through those and see what they're like, so that's going to be quite cool.
And just give our sort of opinions on
well,
on what you think the best clips on Twitch at the moment are. Yeah.
My opinion's going to be fantastic because it's already.
It always is, mate.
My opinion's fine because it's already been in the top 6 by the people from the Twitch. So all I'm doing is bringing it to us.
Bringing it in.
So, exactly. So it's going to be fine in that area. So I have no issues at all. So really, we want to talk about. Let's get into the show.
Yeah, cool.
So first one is Gab. Weight unknown, height unknown, but he likes to go for long walks on the beach at sunset.
Definitely sunset, yeah.
I thought it was more like dead of night.
Dead of night, and sometimes when it rains, I don't know. I think that's
Along the beach.
that's it.
That's true. And then we've got Stephen beside me. His favourite colour is many colours, but today he's gone to black. Normally I don't see you in black at all.
Black is technically not a colour.
Oh, isn't it? It absorbs every other colour.
But yeah, generally, you know, it's flattering, so I try to wear at least 5 items of black a day, you know, my daily dose.
Hello.
Maybe a splash of colour every now and then, but it's usually my pants. So.
Oh, your underwear?
Yeah.
Is it the only time you wear colour? What about socks?
No, black socks.
That's a bit too adventurous.
Yeah. So maybe. Or no, it's black socks or no socks for me, I think, so.
I like the no socks.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Australia now, you know, like when you're there, when in Rome, like wear no socks and put some flip-flops on or something, don't you?
Flip-flops? I've been in New Zealand
Flip-flops.
I love it.
Flip-flops are jandals, aren't they?
Oh yeah, that's right.
You guys are thongs.
Thongs.
Thongs means something very, very different in England. So
the whale tail.
Oh, on that note, I'm picturing Jason in a G-string.
Oh, I can too.
Yeah.
Mankini.
on your stand-up paddleboard.
On my stand-up paddleboard. Oh God, that's awful. I feel sorry for everyone. But what is happening in the game world? Do you want to just have a little talk about what's been happening this week?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think just sort of outside of games and stuff being produced, I know that one of the biggest things at the moment is, and it's the same kind of in the industry that I work in as well, and you know you do too, I think, is Red Dead. The head of Rockstar Studios was talking about, you know, doing some promotion for Red Dead, and he was saying like, oh, you know, we're in the final phases now, and we do like a big cut at the end. There's some like a proper term for it. I can't remember what it's called, but he was saying, oh yeah, we're working 100-hour weeks, and
100-hour weeks.
100-hour weeks.
Wait, is that one person? Or?
No, well, he kind of it kind of came across.
Yeah, how does that work? Yeah,
he kind of came across like he said the whole studio was doing it, so there was this massive uproar. Like about how it's really unhealthy, all this sort of stuff, and then he came out very, very quickly and kind of was like, no, what I was talking about is the 4 core writers in the last cut of the story and cutting content out. We were working 100-hour weeks, but they were just like saying, there's this whole controversy because I don't know if you know, but with Red Dead 1, there was a letter that appeared on Reddit, and it was from all the wives of people working at Rockstar, and it was basically talking about how
all the devs' wives.
Yeah, like they just weren't. They weren't coming home because they were working these really long, stupid hours, and they were just like, you know, they weren't being really remunerated for it, or that sort of stuff.
Been at all.
And obviously their wives are pissed off, like, you know, like
like
we could attest to as well. Like, you know, and it works both ways, I think. But yeah, so he came out very, very quickly with a statement. He's like, fuck, we don't want any bad press around this. Yeah, so, and then it's just like, there's been a bit of an uproar on Twitter and things like that, like people kind of going, you know, this is the way it works, and people saying even if it was the 4 bosses, like, you know, in there, the writing room, like if you walked past like this glass room, so your 4 bosses still sitting in there at 7 o'clock at night, you'd always kind of think twice, go, shit, should I be leaving if they're still here? So
that's true.
So there's kind of like a little bit of controversy around the whole thing and working hours. I know that's been like quite a big thing.
That's a huge thing, actually.
Yeah.
So what was the conclusion? What's the answer? What have they come to an answer of this one? Or
this is actually this is a real common thing across a whole bunch of game development companies that they'll spend stupid amount of hours and not actually get.
Sorry for cutting you off, but we saw this with Adam as well, who came in. Like Adam was saying the same thing. Is he was saying their company, when they're pushing one of their apps, they do an all-nighter for that whole week. So it sounds like a common practice.
Yeah, no, it is. And I think the last company or the last sort of big thing around the same sort of thing that's happened with Rockstar was the devs for LA Noire, which were Rockstar as well. They were over here in Adelaide when they were developing that, and there was a massive uproar of people being like, they didn't get paid for their work. They were doing, 80-hour weeks.
Yeah, apparently it's the thing with Rockstar. Like, and I love, like, don't get me wrong, I love Rockstar games, and I love that. But sometimes, like even in the industry I work in as well, like sometimes you do feel like you feel like people take advantage of that passion. Do you know what I mean? Like they take advantage that you're. But like, and they were kind of originally they didn't handle it very well last time. They were like, oh, it's it's an absolute honour to work for us and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah. I love those.
Yeah,
ones.
And it's like
so good for your resume.
Yeah.
Oh, your CV is going to look so good.
But yeah, like it's just a bit of a tough one. I think that he came out and said exactly the right things afterwards. Like it's just a 14, blah blah blah. But it's just about people looking after themselves. And there's a lot more focus on like mental health and things these days as well.
But that's fantastic to hear, though.
Yeah,
that's what we're all looking for.
But I think people are just getting behind them as well and being like, sometimes I just think. And then there's this whole thing about like people talking about, like how the games industry may be still quite young and hasn't really caught up to the rest of the world. Like they're not unionised, they don't have a lot of support in that respect either. So
but then union's not always the answer to every question.
No,
like that either. So it's not. There's many questions. I'm not bagging the union, so don't think I am. But I'm just saying they're not the answers at all.
As well, I think one of the main controversies, though, right, is that the smaller game studios, like, so somebody who's producing mobile games, and there's 4 people there, fuck, man, they put those hours in, like.
Yeah, they do.
But a game like from Rockstar that's made, I think it was something like $6 billion, like, they should be able to. But then, so there was a really good.
They should be reinvesting that money into the employees,
into the teams. I think though I think the last point it was though that one guy came out on Twitter, and I was listening on the Kind of Funny Games show, and he kind of just said, it's like, so his analogy that he gave is like if you were writing a poem, right? One person was writing a poem, and then you stopped it halfway through. Gave it to somebody else to finish off that poem, like because people are like, well, why don't you just hire more devs? And he was using that as an analogy why you wouldn't do that because that guy's been writing that code. Like, so if you gave that to somebody else, they wouldn't know what the fuck was going on.
No, of course not.
It's it's that creative nature of games and anything creative. Exactly. Like if I was in the middle of writing a song or something and I said, hey, someone else finish that, it'll end up a completely different product to what I intended it to be.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to either. Like, that's your baby.
But exactly.
But another thing is, I'm coming back to the dev conversation we're having here. Now, I've worked in some high-tech companies as well, what's had a large amount of dev companies.
Yeah.
But they've had a large bit of large team to actually everyone was on the same page to write that poem. Yeah. So that's another thing what I question about is like, is that coming? I don't know.
I don't know though. Like, I think if something's super creative, like the people have a vision for it within the team. Like if you're creating a mission on a game, right? For instance, you would the team so it's similar to I don't want to get into the technicals.
We're going to get technical. We're not going to get into it though.
But you get like you'll have 2 teams working on like a mission or something like that, and if you went, oh dude, like I'm halfway through this mission, the end's got to end up somewhere here. Like if I was creative and I not to the degree these guys are, I'd go, oh yeah, cool, and I could do this cool little twist there, and this guy could betray this guy, because they'll give you a framework for a story. They won't tell you, they'll tell you the
exact details. Yeah.
So I think it's just still one that we need to keep, that people will need to keep an eye on. So
Yeah, that's understandable. All right, so what did you like during the week, Gav? What did you like?
So what I liked during this week, the release of probably one of the biggest games of maybe this year so far is Call of Duty.
Yep.
So that broke records across
Download records.
download records across the PSN.
It's not one of the top games though.
It's not one of the top games. No,
Yeah,
it's not one of the top games, but it's the most well-received Call of Duty since I think Black Ops 2.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I watched on Kind of Funny Games. They were saying they always massage those figures a little bit because
They do, yeah.
What they did is they were like, yeah, it's the most downloaded game they've ever had on PlayStation, on PC, and on Xbox. But that was downloads. They didn't mention anything about physical copies. And World War II actually sold like 30% more hard copies.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So is it just
right.
is it just the way the industry's turning? Is it like
Yeah,
people
I
are more
100%.
inclined?
Yeah, I think that's it because World of War. You think about how long that came out, and that would have been over 8 years ago.
No, the most recent one.
Oh, that one, right?
Was it World War One?
Yeah, World War. Yeah.
I'm not a COD player really. Yeah. Like, and on my stream, like I think people will notice that as well. But like when I was playing it, like I've played Fortnite. I've not played PUBG. Have you played PUBG?
Yeah, I've played the lots of PUBG. Yeah.
So what do you think? Well, have you played some of the Blackout yet?
Yeah, I've played Blackout.
What do you reckon?
I reckon so. The advantage that Black Ops has over PUBG is that it is a brand new released game. They haven't seen how long they've taken to beta test the game. Yeah. You haven't seen anything behind the scenes. Whereas PUBG, you've seen it as almost like it's writing its own development story. As you know, you've seen the performance increases, you've seen all of this, and you've seen how the developers have been trying to push and pull back and forth with the community. Mm-hmm. You haven't gotten any of that with Blackout, and Blackout has come out as a whole entire polished product. Yeah. Like there's still bugs and everything with it. Yeah. That's going to happen. That's going to happen on release.
Did you see? Just whilst I think of it, did you see the hack that you can do with the little car and the
yeah.
So in the game basically. So
am I hearing is this a Easter egg?
Yeah, it's kind of like an unintentional.
Yeah, it's more like a.
It's a tip. If
you like that.
Before, if you want to get your wins on Blackout, this is a good way to
tip.
So what you do, apparently, there's a little car, a recon car, like it's a remote control car you can drive around. But also, like in some of the older games, you've got like a heartbeat sensor. So in the Rainbow Six games, you can see where all the terrorists are. So in this, like the idea is there's 100 people, right? Yeah. And the way to win is to camp, basically.
Yeah, that's it.
Get your guns, hide somewhere, and the circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller that everybody's in, so it pushes you all together. Well, so if you land, so it's luck of the draw. If you land in one place and the circle closes in on you, everybody else is fucked around you. Basically.
Yeah, everyone has to run into each other, and everyone's shooting at each other, and people play really hard or really keen.
So if you save, so you can get this gun where it's got a heartbeat sensor in it, and it's like not a big radius, I'd say, but what you can only shoot into the ground, and it will. So if you're in a cool place, the circle's closing, and you put that down, you know where everybody is, and they don't know where you are. So, but you can. There's this car that just moves around as recon. So what you could do is you could shoot your dart into the car. It isn't in the floor, and then you drive the car around, and the heartbeat sensor moves
around the car.
So you could just drive it around the building and see where everybody's coming from if you wanted to. If you're doing fours or twos. And then the other 3 people in the team just go and kill everybody.
So what I've done is I've put some clips out. So some clips would have just come out. So there's 4 clips of what videos, games come out this week. So let's have a little look at these ones. So let's see if I can go through. So as you can see, this is the Missing. Do you know much about this, Gav?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's a 2D side scroller. There's been a lot of talk around this one, just kind of like how it plays and sort of the atmosphere that it's going for.
Yeah. So what's the premise of this one then? Is it a horror game or what are you doing? Did she just die?
Yeah, so it's all.
I think she's dead. Yeah.
So like, the thing is that the actual trailer is quite misleading into sort of like you can hear the music and everything that's going into it, but it's a very interesting design that they're going for. Like you can just see montages of just her getting
dying.
Yeah, of her dying.
It reminds me a little bit of Dead by Daylight. Not Dead by Daylight. Oh shit! It's a side scroller, but it's like there's these
Oh,
weird zombies.
Limbo?
No, there's like zombies and stuff. I've never heard
I think it is Dead by Daylight. No,
Is it Dead by Daylight?
Dying.
Isn't that the one we just played?
Yeah,
Dead by Daylight.
it's. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
It's
Yeah,
like a zombie-ish sort of game, but it's like side scroller and you're just a shadow.
yeah.
But it's not. But it's a bit more.
It's like This War of Mine sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah, it's almost like a sort of Prince of Persia sort of idea. It's like the death, and then it's all this.
I like it. So I like the stylization of it. It looks pretty good. Is it coming out of Japan?
I think these are American devs.
It's an American one.
I like it. I like the look of it.
So with
This is her going back in time.
Yeah.
So
So this is where she comes back
So
before.
this is a little bit like.
like I was saying, Prince of Persia sort of.
Oh no, the dead thing reminds me a little bit of the other one where you're
Braid?
the 8-bit one where you die all the
Yeah,
time.
Braid.
No,
Oh no, Braid.
The one that you guys were playing the other day, and then it resets you back to the beginning, and you lose all your weapons.
Oh yeah. Oh, which one was that one called?
I can't remember. I've got it. I bought it the
Yeah.
other day, and I streamed it for a bit, and then just it was. I couldn't get past one particular bit, and it took a lot of effort.
Oh yeah, it's super tough.
Now this is another one that's just come out this week. as
Yeah,
I said.
cool. So this, so I
like
think,
this one because I've heard.
yeah. So this one here, I think this is the first Warriors game that they've released since the Hyrule. So they went, the developers did a Legend of Zelda themed one
Yeah.
Yep.
called Hyrule Warriors, and they re-released it on the Switch and everything like that as well. So now this is their next big game that's coming out.
Reminds
So
me a bit of Dynasty Warriors.
it is Dynasty Warriors.
Oh right.
It's pretty much like the next edition completely. So there's heaps of characters you can choose from and all that sort of stuff. It's supposed to be like the most, Australian slang chock-a-block full of stuff to do.
I did really enjoy like one of the older versions but the most recent one was a bit. I don't know. Like apparently it was a bit shit. Like it was just.
Yeah, it was pretty average. So the last one wasn't that well received. That's why they they thought they would kind of brand out and go into the Legend of Zelda.
Right. Okay.
And when they did that, that was a really good game. Like they released it, they had it for Wii U. They brought out a whole bunch of DLCs, and then they re-released it on the Switch with even more stuff. And it's just like you're getting over 200 hours worth of fun in that game. So they have kind of gone down the path of playtime and longevity, sort of over a linear sort of progression.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the second last one. The clips would have just come out. So this is. I like this one.
Classic Lego.
Yeah, exactly. But I saw it. I was amazed. Like all the superheroes on holiday. That's all.
The,
It's a bit of a good twist, isn't it?
The Lego game that kicked it all off was Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Lego Star Wars, I think.
And they did Lego Harry Potter
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
But they made so much out of the Star Wars franchise that they thought about branding
that's kind of
out.
what brought the TV and the films and everything out, wasn't
Yeah.
it? It really set it off. Like when they realised there was a market for it, they were like, whoa.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who love it.
What I love about this though is it makes it really accessible to. It really makes it accessible to like younger generations, but adults also love this as well. Like the best example I can remember as well is we got our little one tickets to like the Lego Land.
Oh yeah.
And I was looking online about this event, like when we were looking at buying his ticket, and there was this guy in the comments that was going, "I'm an adult and I don't have a child. Why can't I come to Legoland?" And that kind of just yeah, it was. But that just kind of sums up for me like the whole like people love Lego it's good, it's accessible to young people.
Yeah.
So it's been what, 50 years or many years?
Yeah, it's the original sort of building blocks.
Yeah, but do they hurt when you stand on them?
Yeah.
Still not a fan of that.
That training for parents meme where they just like chucking them on the treadmill.
It's really funny. When I went to Japan, they had same thing with you. You could only go into the Lego World or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh really?
With kids, but they had an adults' night once every month or something
they do
like that.
Now. Like, they had that because people up in uproar about it here. They
Yeah.
do the same here now.
So I went in Japan. I went to the Lego World there and went on one of the adults' nights, and they love they've made like a Batman themed area. They've made a Star Wars themed area. They made like a go build your own thing. So Lego is sort of that never-ending or timeless sort of toy that.
Yeah. But it also, the thing is like it's like a bit of a stepping stone for kids as well.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's why DC and everybody are really keen to give out their licenses to this stuff, because you know, like your son or Isaac my little one will watch something like that, and then when they get a bit older, they'll recall that, and then they'll maybe get into the comics or the older series and stuff like that as well.
It's just extremely accessible.
Yeah,
and that's what they're going for.
And stuff that could be really violent normally as well. Like they always just make it a bit comedy, like, and it's not serious. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which is super important.
And that was a super defining thing of the original Lego games when they first came out. Was they were just completely humorous, and they just took.
Do you have Lego games in your little set in your setup?
Yeah, I do. Not too long ago, they had a sale on for the Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
So I played through some of those, and I was just sitting there, and it was just like something for me where I could just turn off and just just play mindlessly.
Well, it makes that like if you went and watched, you know, like, so you've got the which I have the extended editions of those, like that's like 12 hours of movie or longer. Like I don't know if chat will correct us on that, but like I think it's like you've got like maybe 12 hours worth of like elves and wizards and all that stuff. And then you go to something like Lego, and it's made that crazy storyline that's made for adults super accessible and fun.
Super simplified and like humorous, and it still tells the story. Like if you know the story, you can follow along and be like, oh, I know what's going on. Where like if you haven't seen it, you might look at it and be like, oh, you're not too sure, but you get a general idea anyway. And it's just how they kind of retell the story in their own nature.
And it's the same way they did like the Batman movie and stuff, though, right?
It
was just so like, just didn't take it. Oh, I'm Batman.
That's it.
I think seriously.
I do like that. All right, so this is the last video. What came out? The last game. What we've already touched about. So you'd know this one. Of course.
So they're promoting in this video. I think they promote quite a lot of like zombies and multiplayer, like just normal multiplayer. And operator multiplayer, like it's so fast paced.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I've seen the ads everywhere. I'll be driving to work. I'll see the ads on the side of buses. They've put so much effort into pushing this game. Yeah. It's absolutely incredible. And the thing is that it worked.
Why they got the biggest return?
Maybe.
Wasn't this the one that they fucked up a little bit though, or was that the other?
That was the other one. So this one is also controversial in its own nature because this is the first one to not feature a single player mode.
I think strategically though they've progressively had shitter and shitter single player campaigns. Are like, fuck it, we don't need to do that
But
anymore.
the cool thing is that they've taken that time building that single player. There's still a story to this game. You got to go find it. There's still some single player stuff you can do, but there's no dedicated story. And they put all this time to the development of like your Blackout, bigger zombie maps, stuff that people have been wanting for years and more of.
Well, you look at and they've been smart as well, because you look at the longevity of a single player campaign. It's maybe like 12 hours, I'd say at most. And look, I know that Blackout already, I haven't marked up the hours, but like just based on my streams, I did all weekend, and then I was sick for a couple of days, so I didn't.
Isn't you really sick because you were playing games? And you weren't eating?
Probably living off too much Red Bull. My immune system was like,
I was going to say, there's no way.
So, but like, and it's addictive. Like, and I think the closest I've come to a win is probably second.
I've gotten one win in duos.
Okay.
Haven't had a win in singles or in quads yet. But it still feels that, that heart racing sort of, you got to win. And with how fast paced the game is naturally, it's even worse. Because like you play PUBG or Fortnite, it's way more slower paced. Then you play this and it's a slow paced themed idea against fast paced gameplay. So you are freaking out because anything can happen.
When I got to second, I absolutely shit myself. Like you're like, oh fuck! Like on one of the games, I was hid. Like all the rest of my team were dead. I was hid in a toilet. There was one team left with 3 people, and they'd opened the garage to those houses. So I heard it go up, and the guy's going to me. He's going to me, throw a grenade, and I was like. And I went out and I just threw it in front of me. I was like, why didn't I turn and throw it? I would have won, god damn it!
And it just got destroyed by bullets coming in.
I was like, oh fuck. I was like hid in the toilet with my gun. They're just like, and the circle was like, oh, it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's so nerve-wracking.
It's actually really funny because I thought I would enjoy the game heaps playing the blackout mode and everything like that.
Yeah.
I haven't played a Call of Duty. I used to be a religious Call of Duty player.
Yeah.
I did tournaments for Call of Duty as well, all that sort of stuff.
And I'm the opposite. I've never played it. I was like, oh, I fucking hate, like, how can you constantly play a game over and over again? And then I was just like, and I played, and I was like, yeah, this is alright, this is alright.
Yeah.
and I barely even looked at
That's the thing.
zombies.
So the last one I played a lot of was probably Black Ops 1. And then after that, Modern Warfare 3 came out, and for me, it started getting more stale, and it was just, I didn't want to play it anymore, and I've skipped the last few Call of Duties.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I picked up this one, not expecting that much, and I've been blown away. I've put already 10 hours into this game, just in multiplayer alone. Like, I've been sinking into this game, like, ridiculous amounts, and it's just so much fun. Like,
oh, that's brilliant.
It's they've actually nailed it. Like, there's still things in the game which I think is a bit broken in a sense. Like, there's a few guns in there where I'm just like, they need to fix that.
I need to look at the gun meta though as well, because at the moment there's a gun that I particularly like, which I can't remember the name of. But like, I don't really know. Like, at the moment, I'm like, oh, is this going to be a good at long range or like?
Yeah, people are still discovering that sort of stuff. So even even my daily gameplay, I'm seeing people as they've leveled up and they're progressing. Like, you unlock different guns the further you level up.
Yeah.
So,
you're talking about multiplayer?
Yeah, multiplayer.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Blackout.
Blackout's the same sort of deal as well, though.
Well, Blackout, everybody starts on it. It's just what you find.
Yeah, it's what you find, but also that also determines your gameplay of how you're playing. If you find an SMG, you want to be running close quarters. If you're finding an assault rifle, you want to run medium distance. That sort of stuff. But like I was saying with the multiplayer, people are still unlocking all these things. So every single day that I've been playing, I've seen different people use different weapons differently, and it's changed how everybody plays the game.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, that's
so
right.
I don't think that the actual meta of the game will balance out until a few weeks.
Yeah, well, also you've got different operators and stuff as well, haven't
you? Yeah.
It's like you kind of go, I'm not really sure, like what I was. So basically, the way it works in multiplayer is that you start off and you've got 4 or 5 presets. You've got like demolition, sniper, all that sort of stuff. So you've got set guns. But then as you level up, you unlock guns. So the problem is that you're stuck with those 5 guns or something at the beginning. And I was like, I don't really like this gun. So then I started using the only way to level up the other guns so you can get attachments to it is to use it. So you basically just have to get slaughtered, like, unless
for a little bit,
until you get enough XP to level up those guns.
Yeah, that's it.
So it just that kind of feels broken to me. Like that kind of feels broken that I have to die a fuckload in order to get some guns.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's why it also forces you. So the first few guns you do get are good. Like, they've designed it so they're not overpowered. They're just incredibly well balanced against absolutely everything.
But the problem for me was that I wanted one of those cool guns with the body armor, and I can't have the body armor because it's not in the preset.
Yeah, it's not in the preset. Yeah.
So it's bullshit.
Yeah.
I like this.
Anyway, but you can build it up.
We'll come back into Call of Duty a bit more.
Call of passionate.
Call of passionate. Call of screw the paladin.
So does anyone have some news or anything like that? What's been happening? Has anyone got some good goss, I could say?
I think the only thing really is the stuff we've been talking about is like just the biggest controversy at the moment is sort of Red Dead. I know that people are like.
We're referring to like with Red Dead with the hours.
Well, the other big thing at the moment is Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Odyssey as well. Like the people are going nuts over this XP boost that you can purchase. Like it's kind of like, so if you just want to play through the story and you don't want to do all the side missions and stuff, then you've kind of got to buy this XP boost, which costs real life money.
Costs real money.
Isn't it funny? Real life money.
Real life money.
Well, so you can't earn current. So the way most devs will get around being like people going outraged is that you could earn a shitload of money in game.
Yeah.
And then that would then allow you to buy that XP boost.
I like that.
Yeah, but there's no option to do that. So in order to you spend a bit longer playing, but there's 2 sides of the coin, right? There's one, rush through the game, pay for this. You haven't got a lot of time. You can You can go right to the end of the game. You can just do the story. You'll be solid.
Yeah.
The other side of things is that they go, we don't really want you to do that. So in order to do that, you're going to have to pay. What we want you to do is spend 60 hours in this game. We want you to experience all the content that we've done, do all the missions, do all the assassinations.
You're right. It is really a double-edged sword because those people, you know, they might not want to sink all those hours in that game, so they'll pay real-life money for that. But at the same time, you know, it is giving that people that option, but the option that you have to pay for that shouldn't be a thing.
That's a good
I still think that,
I think there just shouldn't be that option.
It shouldn't be an option, no, at all. If the devs should have made the game, they had an idea in mind of how progression should be.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what happens in any development company. They'll be like, oh, we're going to do this first. You're going to go do this thing. Then you can either do these, and then you'll meet up at this point, right? And you're bypassing that whole thing through a paywall.
Yeah.
That's an option that, like...
And why give you the option if you don't want to
why have the option in the first
Considering
place?
they brought out three different versions of that game, which were one was $60 or maybe more than that here, $80. Then there was a more advanced version which was like, oh, get all these skins and stuff. That was another one, and then you had the third one which was, oh, here's $140 and you get like a map or something with it as well. You know, like they're making enough money from the game.
They are.
Like, it's like you don't need to do that.
I found a game which is coming out. So it's coming out in October the 26th.
Yep.
Now, the reason I like this is the animation I think it's fantastic. It's pretty much like a comic book. I don't know if you guys have seen this, so I'm going to play this through.
Just want to say quickly, Sylvanas in chat. Hey, welcome back.
Oh, Sylvanas, lovely to see you.
She just says, sorry for missing the stream yesterday.
That's good.
Wasn't expecting to see you all in.
Oh, that's
very true. It's a new day.
All right, so this is the trailer I've seen that I like. What's coming out on the 26th?
So this is based. Have you been watching this anime?
Yeah, I have actually.
Yeah. This is like one of the biggest animes out there at the moment.
Oh, I love it.
It's absolutely crazy as well.
Isn't it?
Like, it has a huge following.
So the premise is this guy here, All Might, is like the biggest superhero in the world, but he was mortally wounded, so he lost a lung. Did he lose a lung?
Yeah.
Fighting that other dude who's all for one. He's got a power called One for All.
Yeah.
No, is that right? Is that the right way around?
That's the right one, yeah.
Yeah. So he's actually like a really skinny dude, and he can transform into that big guy. And then so 80% of this entire world have superpowers, but most are really shit, and some are really good. And this little kid called Deku, I can't remember his real name, but he wants to be a superhero more than anything, but he doesn't have any superpowers. So because he hasn't got any superpowers, he grows up and he's really humble and he's really nice because he's not a jerk. He's got amazing powers.
Oh, right.
And then he's about to get killed, and he. One for All, that's this exact scene there, gives him his powers. Right. So he can become really strong, but he hasn't trained, so it's a way that he can't be super powerful really quickly. Every time he punches somebody, he breaks a bone, so he ends up fighting people, and he can only flick them, and he breaks all of his fingers. So he's only got like 5 attacks because he can only flick 5 times. But then he starts getting stronger as it goes on. I think at the moment in the manga he can only use, the anime, he can only use 30% of his power because his body can't handle the rest. So you imagine how many seasons they can get out of that. They're on season 3 and he's 30% of his power. So that's like another 10 seasons.
Yeah, easy. And then they can just drag it out even more.
And then he'll unlock like a super awesome mode or something like that because he did use 1000%, didn't he?
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah. And then there was a whole meme going around that as well. Like this, you have no idea how big the following is behind this anime. This, like One Punch Man.
Well, see, the thing is, my other animes that I'm into are so old and so hard to get into. Like, I tried getting into One Piece, and there's 800 episodes.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh, really?
It's like
how do you start?
Watching Bleach as well.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 or something like that for Bleach.
And but something like I love there's so many great shows out there for. Like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is amazing. I'm still watching Attack on Titan. I've got the game, which is pretty good. It's like this, it walks you through the exact storyline, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I did like that a lot. I was really impressed when I saw this one.
Yeah.
Because the other one I did see, I don't know if you guys are aware, was the Quiet Man. Like, I saw that, and I was like, what does that mean? Have you seen it? So
No.
he's deaf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's deaf and he walks through dark laneways. Of course, he's deaf. He goes through dark laneways and then beats everyone up. It's like, but the sound effects and all that is incredible. So it's so loud and vibrate through.
Yeah.
There's so much great stuff. Like I always find in these stuff there's a lot of fluff, but there's also a lot of passion that goes into it. It's like, but they've done some really cool Western stuff as well, like Afro Samurai with Samuel Jackson's voice is really cool. It's this samurai who's got like this big afro, and they compete for like headbands.
There's been a few of those as well.
Yeah, well, there's a series and there's 2 movies, I think. But so there's like these #1 headband, and if you have the headband, like everybody else wants to kill you in the world. It's super violent, and I think he's got the #2 headband, and the guy that's got the #1 headband killed his dad. So he's going. So he has to work his way up to the #2 headband before he can fight a #1 headband. So it's really like stuff like that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And one little tidbit for you as well.
Yeah, I love it.
Did you know that have you ever seen that? It's got a few names, but Live Die Repeat with Tom Cruise in it, where he just keeps dying. That's actually based on a really cool manga, which I've just bought the book.
Yeah, I read about that. I can't remember which one is it about again.
Oh, I don't remember. It's called something Kill. I'll bring it in. Like next time we do this, I'll bring it in. But it's like it's really cool, and it's
next week.
Yeah, next week. And you can turn the book like both ways, and it's like it was one from the woman's perspective.
Oh, yeah, one from the
But obviously, in true manga style, there's a really dark end to it. So so I won't spoil that. It's definitely worth a read when I can tell you the name of it.
Like it. So anyone's got any other information about what's getting made, what's getting done, what's new things, what's coming out?
To be honest, this is the lull period of a lot of development cycles. So this is the year. This is the month when a lot of games are released or releasing.
Yeah.
So they're at just before Christmas. They're ending the development cycles. They've had their summer. They're going into winter, so people want to stay home and play their games.
We're coming into summer.
We're coming into summer, yeah, and that's how it is. But that's good for us.
That means like, oh my god, it's so hot in here.
Yeah, that means everyone has the holidays, which is the awesome thing. So everyone here has their holidays during this time. So
But I was kind of looking forward. I was kind of looking forward to 2019. Some of the games that I'm super excited about. A lot of stuff that was at E3.
Yeah.
Like Anthem. I think that's going to be my next big game.
They think that's going to be the Destiny killer, or
everybody says that. Like Destiny now is in a really good position. I hate to admit it because it sucked me back in a little bit. But I can't be bothered with the grind. But Anthem is you're called a freelancer and you get in a mech and you basically go out with 4 people around this world. It's not Earth, but there's this thing called the Anthem of Creation, and basically they're going off all around the world. They create storms and all sorts of crazy shit. I don't know if you saw the trailer for Doom 2 as well.
Yeah, Doom 2. There's Doom VFR that's coming out as well. They're doing a VR version.
They did that for PlayStation. I know they're going to release it on Switch.
On Switch and all that other sort of stuff as well.
But that feels like a really good evolution of Doom as well. Like the weapons have slightly evolved. So the old thing with Doom was like it starts on Mars and then Earth gets invaded.
Oh yeah.
So you're back on Earth and the whole planet's burning. Days Gone.
Days Gone, yeah, that's nearing its end. I think that's going to be released in February.
Yeah, that's a big period for it.
Yeah.
That's Anthem as well. But Days Gone is basically. Did you ever see World War Z, where the zombies were climbing on top of each other? Yeah.
They're also making a World War Z game.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Yeah, I'm just like, it's so long after the movie came out. I'm like, it seems like a weird time to bring that
It is a weird time, but people are still talking about it, which is the funny thing. It was a very memorable movie, even though some people don't think it was the most crash hot one.
But maybe the devs did a regular week. They worked 40 hours.
Yeah, maybe.
There you go.
That's why it didn't come out at the same time. The film was a car crash, but it still did pretty well. Like the second half of that film was completely redone with Brad Pitt in it because it didn't test very well.
That makes sense. And then you've got some other ones.
I was reading earlier on today about a Star Wars title from Respawn. Nobody quite knows what it is yet. Respawn, I think, were the company that did do you remember the game Bad Company?
Bad Company. Yeah.
So you were a group of soldiers, but the point was you would you would like basically go and find gold and stuff on maps. So
Yeah.
but any Star Wars game for me, Battlefront is really cheap on the PlayStation Store at the moment as well, by the way. Last of Us 2, obviously, but I'm so hoping that isn't next gen. I want that to be this gen.
I still think it'll be this gen.
I think they're going to do what they did with Last of Us 2.
Split it.
Release it on the PS4. When the PlayStation 5 comes out, they'll just go, oh, we've done a remaster. There you go.
Yeah, have your 4K textures, have all this sort of stuff. Yeah, they might do that, but it is one of those games where I think it might be in the same sort of basket as the new Elder Scrolls game that they announced at E3, Bethesda, where it will probably be developed for that next generation of consoles.
Because they're just talking about these streaming consoles at the moment. That's a new thing. Google have got this. They've got people to sign up to beta where you're basically you just log onto your PC and you can play the new Assassin's Creed game. All you need is like you're streaming it from servers somewhere, and Google are trying to get into that streaming game because they saying the next Xbox console is going to be all streaming.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does.
It makes heaps of sense actually.
Just the last one that's kind of sneaking in, and I'm hoping it's going to smash the pirate game that's on Xbox at the moment is Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
So that one, that one's supposed to beat the what was it? The one that you were saying on Xbox that came out.
Oh, I can't remember, but it was really shit, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like they rushed it out.
Everyone had a massive hype around it, and they're just like, this game's going to be awesome. There's going to be heaps of exploration.
No exclusives, right?
They just don't know what's going on. Like they went into so I reckon they pushed their sort of media side way too hard.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, this is going to be
it's way too much.
there's going to be like a media multi Xbox sort of thing and all that other sort of stuff, and it just ended up they just went down the wrong path. PlayStation jumped on the back of, hey, let's make a whole bunch of exclusives and try and sell our console, where Xbox were kind of just like, hey, we have Netflix.
Yeah, this is it.
So next little segment I want to come into.
Yeah.
This is the one I am excited about. This is the top 6.
Okay, yes.
This is the top 6 clips on Twitch TV. So this is what's been happening the last 2 days. So this is what we've done.
And it's not all gameplay, is it either?
No, it's not.
No.
So as you can see, I'll pick play.
This is a good kill.
This is good. Yeah.
What game is this?
This is PUBG. This is PUBG.
Oh god. Is this what PUBG looks like?
This guy.
Fucking hell.
This guy is insane. I watched some of his streams.
Yeah.
He just doesn't miss.
That was amazing.
He just aims. He does that snapshot aiming that people can
look at that.
really
It just,
well, man. Like,
it's that flick.
Yeah.
I'm not quick enough to do that.
I've only really
give me an automatic weapon. But the thing about that, right, is that gun is more powerful because you're supposed to do long range shots. So because he can aim really quickly and shoot, like he gets more like. So normally you do that with a machine gun or something like that. But because he's got such quick reaction time,
it's just instant. Yeah.
So I've enjoyed it so much. I'm doing a replay. Like I love this.
So he gets
like,
one. Counting one.
Ooh. He's got 2 kills. Right, jumps down.
But his reaction time between this guy who shot at him and is just like, there he is, dead.
He just flicked it. That's nuts.
It's that. So I can almost do a little bit, nowhere near to this guy's degree, right?
Yeah.
But once you start using the same sensitivity after a while, you've been playing like that for a while, you kind of have that muscle memory being like, I know he's that far away, I'm going to move my arm.
Yeah,
that's the thing. This guy's doing it professionally for
love
years.
Love him. So this is number 5.
This is a good, like, heartwarming story.
Yeah, that also shows you how far people can go and how a little bit of niceness can go a long way as well.
I was blown away by it. I was amazed.
before she goes into hysterics.
Yeah. So that was number 5 when I thought it was
very good. And I think that's like just to like have like that kind of emotional moment. Like that's what you should always consider. Like help somebody out when you can, you know, like, you know, that cost her nothing to host his stream, like, and it's changed his life, you know.
Yeah, it has.
And
Actually,
it's the same thing, you know, like, the stupid thing I've got at the moment is I've got a pair of trainers that don't fit me, so I'm just like, next time I see somebody, I've got them in my car, like, next time I see somebody in need of something like that, I'm just going to go, like, because, you know.
Adidas or Puma?
They're Adidas. They're brand new as well.
Oh, well, what
size are you? I'm not going to give it to you.
Oh, well, I like sneakers.
We'll talk after the stream.
I like my sneakers.
But no, I just think that what everybody out there should consider is just the reverberations of everything that they do. And you can touch people, not in a weird way, with the smallest of gestures as well.
That's right. Now, this is number 4 coming through. So, this is like, can't remember this one on top of my head, but
XQC.
Yes.
I've seen this one.
Is that because he's waiting for a patch to upload?
No, he's like taking the piss out of the game where like he does this before every single game he plays. He'll like just do something stupid, just be an idiot or something. But like in this one there's this website called Hacker Typer, and you just type you just smack your keyboard and it'll start typing out like lines of just gibberish code. And this guy's running, he's like, oh yeah, hack into the mainframe, yeah. Like like everyone's watching him and everyone's like, what are you doing, man? Like.
Just reminds me of like, I don't know if you've ever watched, you might be a bit too young, but like the old hacker movies where they're always like, oh, I'm gonna hack into the mainframe, and those big smiley faces like floating into the screen.
I was like, talking about hackers.
Yeah, I was like, have you ever coded before? That's not what it's like. Even Swordfish, he's going, I'm gonna make a worm, and he's going, there's all this graphical interface, and I'm just like, no.
The funniest one is it is in CSI where he opens up a bag and they're talking about this guy like with his computer and being a hacker and stuff, and they're like, oh, we've got his hard drive, and he picks up a power supply unit.
It's so funny, like, you know, some executives going, oh yeah, this looks cool, man, like, pick this up, this can be your hard drive.
Yeah, and just say this is a hard drive, or, you know, and say this is a mainframe, and it's just like a little box.
Isn't it so weird that the actor doing that is so detached from anything real that he thinks that a power supply?
Have no idea. They're so involved in their own role, they like just forget to be like, is this actually what this is? Like,
maybe we just nerds and we know what hard drives are.
Maybe. This is number 3 coming through.
The PUBG hat, nice.
Just that really angry, hateful feeling inside that all these kids are out, like, you know, having a party, and everyone's just having fun, way more than you, and you're just pissed off about it. You know what I mean? You get pissed off when like people have
This is super serious.
I know.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not even like an annoyed pissed off, it's like really unhealthy, angry, fucking pissed off. You know what I mean? That's how I feel most too. It's kind of weird. Is that like a mental health thing, or is it just like, am I right? You feel like you're right and everyone's wrong. You know what I mean? But you truly believe.
So
Wow, that was deep.
That was a totally different one. I did not expect that to be in the top 6.
I think that it's like quite, you know, like in this day and age as well. Like I think like mental health is starting to get talked about as well. Like I think that was like not taking the piss. Like I think that guy is like genuinely just being like, is there anybody out there that feels like this?
Exactly.
Like, and it's been mental health week. Like they did it at work as well. They were just like, oh, you know, talk to us if there's an issue. Like, but it feels very. It just feels very like top line, like they don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, because there's a thing, we'll do a thing. But that's like.
But that could be just your work though.
Yeah.
Going back to Rockstar.
Yeah,
100 hours.
That's it.
1 million hours a week. Well, there aren't that many hours in a week.
Of course,
it's good to, you know, that he's just kind of going, yeah,
I
this is
thought it
how
was
I
good.
feel.
I was really surprised. I like that. So number 2, here we go. What is getting played through?
Let's get your team here together as well.
I don't know, maybe they should have some backing music or something in this. Like it's a bit dead in the air. And it goes to show in a minute.
So, step on front.
Oh, it's just so awkward.
Where is this? Where is this?
Congratulations.
It completely broke.
They should have spent a bit more money on the bloody, on the...
Oh no.
Oh, poor dude.
Oh.
It's like, do you know how much money they make from these things? And they can't even afford to buy a decent trophy. Like
That is so bad. Like he picked it up and instantly he's just like, oh shit. Like
I would have been like, is this what I came all this way for?
you can already see how uncomfortable these guys are in front of the camera. They're just like, man, I just sit in front of my computer and play games for 10 hours a day. Like that's what I do for my life. And then they're just like, I don't know how to perform. And they pick up this thing, they're like, oh shit. Like,
I love that when they picked it up and the next minute you see the rod falls down.
Yeah.
It falls up and the next minute they're looking at each other going,
But that's
what do we do?
That's what they say about esports, isn't it? Like you got all these these guys that like they don't really leave their room or whatever, and then they're thrust into the limelight, and they're like, "Hey, yes, I won!" So then you're just like, "All right, cool." Like,
That's true. So here we go.
yeah,
Number
Number
one.
one.
number one.
Now let me just say,
Number one with a bullet.
I'll play it once. We'll have a little chat, and then we'll have played again because number one needs to be played a few times. Let me just say, here we go. Number one.
What was it? I can't even remember.
Oh, you'll see in a moment.
Oh, there you go. Just as well. 'Cause I can't
the
bloody
suspense is killing
remember.
you.
Please tell me that you may be referring to season state.
Do you think this is?
I can see you here with the human nose. We need to stop right here.
What?
I love Twitch. I fucking love Twitch. The shitty flute, him in the light raft, and just being, oh yeah, you're the supreme human specimen.
It's in, he had a computer program talking to him.
Yeah, he had voice, like text
he's-
to voice.
He said,
But the maid came in. It's the maid who walks in.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
He's like,
it's like, you know, like 20 years ago, you would have been caught like, you know, like in some weird
Yeah.
outfit in your room, just like, oh, hi. Oh, you sure that was his maid, not his mum?
well, that's what it said in the titles.
Well, he's got a maid. It's like some really weird rich kid.
I love it.
Let's play that again. For
I
you,
will.
Robbie.
Here it is.
Please tell me that you may be referring to season state.
Now you'll see on the bottom right-hand side or left-hand side.
Oh my god. Savannah said, "What the fuck is that?"
that's Twitch.
Yeah,
You're watching Twitch.
How come it said something that said?
We can't go further. We need to stop right
Who's talking to him though? Because it talks about the maid.
I think they're like, so I know like Ice Poseidon, another massive Twitch streamer, they'll be sitting in a car and they'll deliberately have voice to text open so people will just donate and just
Oh, say
text
stuff. Yeah.
stupid shit.
Right.
They'll be like, just the amount of stuff that the people will try and get away with in the back of an Uber
I
driver.
watched-
They'll be like, hey, Uber driver, you're pretty hot, what's your number? Like,
But
all
I
that sort of
watched,
stuff.
I watched a thing the other day where it was like the biggest fails, and people who like I saw a guy that had that, but he would only wear one earphone when he was doing stuff. So people would do request songs. So,
Yeah.
they encoded it so it said fuck off, fuck off, fuck
Yeah,
off.
and
in the other ear set. Like,
Oh,
so,
right, yeah, yeah.
so all he heard was the music going, yeah, this is a cool tune, and then the other one that everybody in Twitch can hear is going, fuck you, you fucking fuck. People are so fucking mean trolling it.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back to Call of Duty.
Yes.
Let's go a little bit deeper into that.
Yeah,
So
okay.
let's talk a bit through that, if that's all right, guys. I'll
Yeah.
play some
do it.
theme music behind us underneath. It's nothing. This is only just
Yeah.
text. What's going through?
So
we've just
what
seen.
are you? So you've not played. So what are you more of a PvPer or are you more like sort of the blackout sort of? what do you lean more towards?
I do like the blackout sort of stuff, but the PvP, the multiplayer in this game has grabbed me so hard.
It's just too quick. Like I've maybe got to get used to it, but it's so quick pace. You're just dying. Like it's so quick. The maps are basically.
But you're saying you're dying to get used to the weapons, or
no,
get more
this
weapons,
is
or...
different. Yeah, you do, but these maps are built like arenas, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they're like a circle. You can't. It's not like face to face where you just go at each other from a spawn point. You're like constantly being flanked.
Yeah,
And, all sorts
and then
of
when
shit.
someone dies, they'll spawn like, you know, a certain distance away from you and all that other sort of stuff. This game is so fast paced that they've put some of the old maps from Black Ops 1 in this game.
Yeah.
And the thing is that Black Ops 1 was actually one of the slower, well, probably the slowest Call of Duty that they brought out at that time.
Yeah.
So what's happened is that they've brought the maps out for this one as well, but the whole entire gameplay and the way the game works is completely different. The game feels a lot faster, and these maps are designed for that play style. So they've still brought these maps out, but it's changed the way that you have to play the maps as well. So every map that you play is completely different in the way that you should play it, because you have to look for vantage points, you have to look for like spots where you know you might get shot from, you have to know where people like to camp. All this sort of stuff contributes
and you've got
to...
specials as well, haven't you? Like one of the guys has this nuclear thing that he puts down, it burns everybody in a radius, another guy slams on the ground, some guy's got a shield that if there are people attacking from the front, you can point a gun for it and shoot them.
and shoot through them,
there's a guy that's got dogs that come and attack you, like it's nuts. Yeah. The fucking dogs, man. The fucking dogs. Have you been killed by the dogs?
You know, there's this meme going around where it's like, it's like a picture of a heart shaking, and like it's like 1v1, it's like a little bit of a shake, like a 1v3 big shake, and then like a dog chasing me, it's like going fucking spastic, and like you actually feel that way because you see this dog's running at you, and it takes like 5 times the amount of bullets to kill this dog than what it does to kill a player. So you're laying into this thing, and you're like, help!
A player with body armor as well. You're just like trying to kill him. But blackout mode, like, so you saw that guy playing PUBG, right? And those graphics, so basically it's exactly the same thing in this game. Yeah. But you see the graphics in a minute. Look, this is all 4v or 5v5, so this is different. But you see it in a minute, the blackout version, and it's just nuts. Like that you can. Every game is completely different. Like you just have to land in the right spot. And it's all about where the other players are going and what gun. If you walk into the wrong house and don't pick up a gun, like that can be it. Yeah. Because the guy in front of you has picked up a gun, like you're dead.
It's very much map knowledge and dexterity, like how good you are at actually aiming. I know for a fact that you can 1v1 a guy at the same time, see each other at the same time without knowing, and the guy who has the best aim will destroy you.
Well, saying that, and it's gun as well, like with the distance on it. Like if you don't have a scope on your gun, if you don't have a stock, if you don't have an extra clip, like I've tried to shoot guys who've had the same gun just as far away, but they've had a scope and a stock, and it stabilizes the gun. So it's just totally So you get bolt-ons to your gun that make it better. So you can go and find stuff and go around the map, but the people who win are the people that collect enough and hide, like until the end. Like
especially for blackout.
Hide.
Yeah.
So hide.
So you hide in a house. Like people kill each other, and then it's you and a few people left.
And then you get the jump on the person.
Oh, of course, because you know what's going on.
But the biggest thing for me in Blackout was to learn, and I'm still learning. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, fucking, I want to kill somebody, and I'll run out and die. Like, the biggest thing is, like, unless you are certain you're going to kill that person, don't do it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you know you can't land the shot, they will turn around and they will destroy you.
Well, yeah, not even that. If you miss them, then you've given away your position. And it's surprise in Blackout. Whereas this is just pure slaughter in fight.
There is a lot of mind games in this as well. Like, you know, you'll tag someone, and then you'll be like, oh wait, I can't shoot him anymore. So he'll hide around the corner, heal, and then you'll be like, wait, do I push? Do I stay? Do I just completely run away? Where's their team? Where's my team? Where should I go?
So most of the time, what I've done is a couple of times I've shot people and I've run after them and then got killed. Like what I should have so now I hesitate. Like I'll shoot them if they didn't die and they've got into cover. You lose them, that's it. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's definitely worth a play. I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I think we're playing it tomorrow on stream.
We'll go into that a bit later on.
Yeah.
We've got Jaden, who's one of the game players, is saying that he's quite good at it.
Yeah, he's the zombie sort of player. So
he's a zombie type of player.
So yeah.
So there's another mode on this, which is a bit of a story mode.
We'll go back to it.
Yeah.
You go back in time or whatever. Like there's a few different things. Like one of them's like
Yeah, the Colosseum, yeah.
That's the only one I've played, and I didn't understand what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah, I've tried all the maps. The arena one is actually one of the smallest map out of the 3 that they've released so
I
far.
just didn't know what was going on. Like, you were opening doors. I didn't know what the aim was. I think you just end up dying, don't you?
The whole entire aim is survive, but I know there are things you can do to like kind of do an objective.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And the objective is like really hard based. It's almost like doing a raid in Destiny or that sort of stuff. So.
Like it. All right. So my next little segment that I've got up is Easter eggs. Now, I got cooked by Easter eggs when you guys did the show with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What was that? Last month we did the Spider-Man.
Yeah, last month.
About the dev and all that. So I was like, oh, I like these Easter eggs. Love them. And I like tips as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'll find an Easter egg. Which one do I like about? So the one I did find was one from 1987. That's back in the day. Like, I'm not too sure all of us know that day, but that was a good day for me. So let me just get to, if I can get there. Slowly exporting.
slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely exporting this out. So let's
Slowly but surely.
have a look at this. I am playing. So it's coming to us now. Mike Tyson Punch Out.
Punch Out.
Guess
An
what
old
that's
game.
on? In 1987.
1987. You're talking about your NES and SNES consoles.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Back in the day.
But this wasn't discovered for quite a while, was it?
No, so this is one of the oldest ones. What hasn't been done, as you can see, 2009 was when it was told that it had the Easter egg. So then, therefore, when Bad Bull comes charging at you, you'll see in a minute. So he comes charging at you. He did little moves that you had to punch him in the gut, and then it will heal freeze, and then you could beat him up. But if the flash of light from the camera comes, that's when you could hit the person and you win straight away. I was unaware of this. So I was like, oh man, I spent a lot of time back in the late 80s. But I like that with the Easter eggs.
Yep.
But we'll keep coming up with better Easter eggs than that one. But the guys will do, Jaden will be doing a lot more tomorrow night, and we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Have you got a favourite Easter egg?
There's a lot of Easter eggs that I really love because all of them are funny, all in their sort of own different nature. Like there's 2 I'll mention. A funny one is in Crisis 3 where you can actually do a few things. You got to do a few objectives to get this Easter egg. But once you do it, an elevator comes down and it's full of your enemies just in the elevator, just dancing away with like a disco ball and light and stuff like that.
I love that.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And then there's also like a creepy side where you'll be driving. There's another one in GTA 5 where you'll be driving down the road and then you'll see a ghost up on the hills.
I've seen that one, yeah, but it's only at a certain time.
It's only a certain time, a certain thing, and there's a story behind it. You can go up to the location, read a story about how this chick died and all this other sort of stuff.
Wow.
But there's also like creepy Easter eggs as well. Like there's another one in Super Mario Galaxy where you look up from one of the maps and you see these 3 like devilish figures just staring at you, and that's in a kid's game.
Some of the darkest Easter eggs are in those games as well, though. Also, Bungie. Did you see that Bungie in the latest Destiny has done the same one from Halo, where like, you can shoot the bad guys and confetti comes out. Yeah. And there's another one as well that they've done in a few of their games where you sneak into a club and all of the bad guys from Halos were like dancing in the club. And you can just kill them all. And they've done it recently in Forsaken as well. Like one of the clubs in the Lost City or wherever. Like they're all dancing in there, and you can go in and kill them.
I love it.
Yeah.
So if anyone does have tips with Easter eggs, we'd love to hear them through chat.
Yeah, tell us your favourite ones as well.
Savannah says that you're showing your age as well by showing that clip.
Showing the old NES clip. Hey, there's also another.
I think he's showing his age more up here, like with his Swedish blonde.
Swedish blonde. Swedish blonde. It's all Swedish blonde. I can't believe you're saying 80. That's a great one. That's when Nintendo
some of the best games are out then as well.
Like, you know.
Nooley's asked if this is a pool table as well.
Yes, it is a pool table.
Rebranded pool table.
Yes, it's got grass inside it, and then we put.
Maybe we should start a poll to see if people want to see a stream of pool game, because I'm terrible. It will go on for hours.
A pool game?
Yeah. Do a game of pool.
What? This type of pool?
Yeah,
or
this type of
game
pool.
pool. Like
Game pool. Pool.
Pool.
No. We can do it on the video. We can do the video one. All right, so let's get into unboxing.
Yes.
So, Stephen, do you want to talk us through what you've been up to with unboxing?
Yeah, so I've been working on my streaming setup at home, and
You mentioned that twice.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying because this is one that was recommended particularly for that, because it says here, which is what I was getting into, the XSplit streaming broadcaster, and it's actually been endorsed by XSplit, by OBS, which is one of the biggest streaming things, which is particularly why I got it. It's got
they're huge.
Yeah, and so this is part of like a kit that you can get, which is like good for starting up a streaming set. So that's one that I had recommended to me. It's also got, so lighting for most streamers is, you can't see behind the cameras here, but is also quite a big issue sometimes. So you get an awesome little light at the front which you can kind of turn on, and it lights.
Now the best thing about these lights are good for Instagram as well. Nice ring ones. So when you want go close, you got that nice ring eye. Like, you know, Gav knows this. He's looking at me saying,
Yeah,
"I do
Yeah, I
this a
know.
lot. I do this a lot."
Hide some of those lines, makes it flatter in as well.
It does. It does.
So some of the specs on this, yeah, it's got the multi-step ring light with adjustable lighting levels. It goes up to 720p HD as well, so it can go widescreen, which is pretty cool.
That's nice.
Yeah, so I didn't like. I mean, a lot of the stuff that like anybody starting out, like I think like I just watched a lot of YouTube videos, and some of the setups, like a lot of people use digital SLR cameras now. And it came across as quite expensive, like, and I'm not, you know, I'm just do it for fun. So I was a little bit like, what can I get that's still like quite reasonably priced, even though, as you probably know, the Razer stuff's pretty expensive.
Yeah, the Razer stuff is,
but it's a lot cheaper than a digital SLR camera.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
So as with all of the Razer stuff, like it's always really like just looks really fucking cool.
What's the main reason that you like it, the Razer? What's the thing where you say? Hey,
I think the price point, like, and just the clarity, like the autofocus, everything like that. And I mean, I don't know, like it was kind of like what I saw on a lot of other YouTubers are using, and I'm very much like if I've got some stuff from one brand, like I kind of want it to all mesh well together. So I've got which I can show another time, but I've got like the Razer Siren Pro, so the microphone, and Razer speakers, the Nomos as well, which are all sort of RGB, so they all light up together. And then all my stuff on my PC is Corsair, so I've got like
do you have RGB inside the PC as well?
Do I have what? RGB, yeah, I do, yeah.
So that all the lights blend.
Yeah,
You've got them all
so
going
it does.
in.
So I'll do you a little video if you want. You can show it next time. But
I
yeah,
do like that.
So inside that all glows, but then also like my mouse mat glows, my headstand glows, like all that sort of stuff. So it's all very, the aesthetic is really cool.
Well, these guys do a lot of esports. Like they do a lot of.
Yeah, it's sponsored esports.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the joypad at the moment. I can't remember what it's called. But it's the Pro joypad. It's like $350. You're gonna have to save up. But yeah, look, I think it's just like you always get like the really nice braided cables from them. You get like a little thing here that says like "Welcome to Razer," all that sort of stuff.
Packaged really well.
Yeah, packaged
Does it
really,
come in
really
different
well.
dialects? Because we've seen that with other brands. The larger brands will say bonjour. And
Yeah, well, this is all in English, but I don't know. I don't know if that's the region that you buy it in. But it's all very like you can kind of just clip it to the back of your monitor, or it all comes with like covers and all of this stuff.
It's really good, actually.
You can just screw it into a stand as well, which I'm doing at the moment. Which, you know, any sort of cheap stand that would go with a camera as well is really good. And it's the clarity, it's just been really good. It auto focuses. If you're sitting in a dark room, you can just put the light on it, and it just does a really good job. And it shoots in widescreen as well, so it's pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
that's great. That's fantastic.
Noise in chat. Corsair is the bomb.
Yeah, like I was like, so the reason that I went with Corsair was mainly because of their mouse. It's got loads of numbers on the side.
Yeah.
So, and I'm a World of Warcraft healer, so it's rather than playing with your hand on all the numbers and your hand on your mouse, like I just push the buttons on the side. But
that's like the Razer. I think they brought one out called the Naga. Which is almost the
only
exact
reason
same
I
sort of thing.
didn't buy that and the other stuff was because the logo just looked really, that sounds really lame, but the logo looked really weird on them, and I was like, and I watched a couple of videos about that, the Naga no, just about the two mice, and I think the Corsair won slightly. I know there's been a newer version of it, but it came across really well. So
I've got some questions.
Yes.
Was it easy to install?
Yes, it does require a a USB 3 though, and I've got limited ports on my PC, so it requires that extra bandwidth and power.
Probably definitely worth getting a hub or something.
Yeah,
a
I've got
USB 3
a
hub.
USB.
Yeah.
It won't go into the USB 3 hub. It has to go straight into the
that's
machine.
So great, and sort of get the power.
Very
So
interesting.
that's what's gonna. So is there any other brand that you'd say would come close to this one?
I think Corsair and Razer kind of.
Yeah, they're the
went
two
up,
big.
yeah.
They're the
Big
two
and
ones,
bands.
but just on regards to the web camera, not the brands. It's
Oh,
the
there's
web
a
cameras.
really good Logitech one.
Yeah,
that a
it'll
lot
be-
of streamers use.
Yeah,
as well.
in the webcam sort of area, you'll be looking at your Logitechs. Logitech is probably the biggest company when it comes to this sort of stuff.
You see, I probably wouldn't buy it, like, because I was thinking of like two camera setup at home, but I probably wouldn't get two of these. Like, I think this would act as your main camera, and then maybe get something a little bit more basic. For
Yeah.
The second one, because I mean, I think the price point on it is, I can't really remember actually.
That doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but it's pretty expensive. You can probably Google it.
Yeah, Newell's internal PC parts are paid for me. Got their keyboard.
Yep.
Yeah, internal parts, Corsair definitely have a massive advantage. They do like RAM, AIO coolers, which is on the rise as well. So all-in-one unit for a water cooling system.
Yeah, yeah.
So you don't need to worry about building a custom loop or anything. And Corsair are one of the leading companies doing that sort of stuff. So
No, that's a nice.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think that Razer get by on a lot of their aesthetic there as well. They're really nice packaging and stuff like that. Like, whereas
That
some
is-
of them have got a bit more substance to them.
Yeah.
Stay honest,
I'm not saying that they don't. But
No, yeah, of course, yeah.
No, it is very.
But
pretty.
they also tried to break into, like Elgato's kind of got the market cornered on streaming devices. So they tried to break into that, and I heard that the Ripsaw was a bit shit as well.
Yeah, it was a bit average. They've done a few things where
Crushed
people are
quite
just
a lot,
like,
didn't it?
why? Like they have an RGB mouse pad, and when you have a mouse pad, you don't want it to be like hard surfaced and like flimsy. Like when you want a mouse pad, you want it to be able to roll it up if you're going somewhere, or you want it to be rubberized so you can just like.
One.
Do you like the hard one? Or?
Yeah, I like the hard one for at home because I know I'm not going to take it
Yeah.
anywhere. And that's purely I've got it for the aesthetic as well. Like
Yeah,
it
fair
kinda
enough,
goes with my day. Like, so then you get a program which does all of your lighting at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that's so. I'm mainly focusing on Razer for my PS4, so that can all go together. And then mainly for and the only reason I didn't get Corsair speakers for my computer was because they don't make them.
Yeah.
So
Well, I've got a friend who can help you with speakers. You
I've
won't get
already bought some. The Nomos.
I was gonna say,
Razer
he's
Nomos.
nice.
Hook you up, man.
Exactly.
The
You're always looking at-
Razer
All right,
Nomo,
let's go.
the Razer Nomo Pro, like its price point is like $800, so I just went for that's the one of the few things where I look at them and I go, well, you might as well just pay the extra $100 for the higher version of it. But that was one of the things I was like, I don't need $800 speakers. Like I'm pretty cool. I could probably get better ones than that as well.
All right, let's talk
Yeah.
about something technical. I know we're talking about the web cameras. What's been caught your eye this week?
Okay,
Regarding
cool.
tech?
So massive news was Intel talking about their new cores. So the new i9 that they're bringing out as well. So the 9 series.
Yes.
So they're releasing a few different versions of that. So I think it's like 12 hexacores, and the way that it's. So the thing that worries me is that games don't really optimize multiple cores very well.
They do not.
Yeah, they don't. So they only really run on one core or a few cores. So
they're stressing out the graphics card then.
yeah, so that's essentially what it is. But when it comes to like some computational stuff, CPUs they still use their maximum potential, but the
Yeah.
way that the games have actually been written to kind of spread that data across the cores isn't very efficient. So I think they've tried to fix that with their new cores as well, like trying to make it like almost hard built as well into the new Intel sockets. Trying to push that so you get better performance, but not you're not paying at another ridiculous price point. So right now, if you wanted to buy the top of the range i7, so the 8 series, so that's the i7 8700K, you'll be looking at about $500 Australian. And their top range chip that they're bringing out for the new i9, so they're still doing i7s as well, but the new 9 series, the 9th gen, you're looking at about $800. Wow. But the thing is that it is a bit of a jump, but what people forget as well is that it's a whole entire new socket as well. So you'll have to get a new motherboard to support that socket.
So you're probably looking more at people in the market for people looking to build a new PC.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
So
what I was gonna say.
I've just upgraded my PC, so I've gone really hard with all my parts. I've got a 1080 Ti. I've gone to the i7-8700K, so the top of the range Intel, water cooling, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, I look at that, and the jump between getting a whole new motherboard and getting it's simply not worth it for someone like me, who's already got the top of range stuff at the current moment.
Yeah.
But for someone who's a couple generations behind, maybe you're looking at your 7th
Saving
gen,
up for a new computer,
yeah, 7th gen or 6th gen, it is definitely worth, I think, saving up and going for one of these new Intel sockets. You'll do yourself a massive favor.
So with that one, you'd say as well, with the graphics card, you'd be looking at...
So with the graphics card as well, NVIDIA, I don't think we've ever talked about this on any of our streams before, the new RTX series cards.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So they've,
at the moment.
yeah, so I made the conscious decision, so I upgraded my my graphics card just recently. So I built...
You went the 1080 Ti, did you?
Yeah, I went with the 1080 Ti.
that's
So
what I thought,
I was looking at either getting an RTX card, so the RTX 2080.
Is that still taking one slot? Or is
It still takes one slot, still one PCIe slot, but it's still, so it'll still take you 16 slot, but it is a lot thicker.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like 2 slots.
it's almost like 2 slots, but you can still fit one in side by side. So you can still run an SLI, and they've actually fixed the SLI and how it works with the new RTX cards. The thing is that the TI, the 2080 Ti, so the highest, so the 1080 Ti is the highest in the 10 series.
Yeah.
For the 20 series, the RTX series, the highest is also again the 2080 Ti, so they name it numerically.
Yes.
That card, the Founders Edition, is 1,900 Australian dollars. To get an aftermarket, especially if you're looking for a good one, it will cost you over 2,200 Australian dollars. So
It's not worth it at the moment.
and then you're only getting
But you'd go straight to Hong Kong and buy it from Hong Kong.
well, that as well. But the thing is
That's
that
what I'd be-
you're paying
Allegedly be
70% extra. Yeah, you're paying 70% extra for a 20% increase. So you can't even run a 4K game at 60 frames perfectly yet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So this 2080 Ti can almost just do it,
Yeah.
Oh,
but
okay.
you are paying over $2,000 to get that done.
Yep.
For me, I just looked at it and I'm just like, I'm going to skip this series of generation cards. They put the price point way too high.
Yeah.
RTX, the actual ray tracing feature that they put into these new cards to be able to do it,
Yes.
not even a thing yet.
Yeah.
People got these cards for testing, like Linus Tech Tips,
Yeah.
Jay's 2 Cents. All these guys got these cards to go test for RTX. No game has RTX at the moment. They're in development for RTX, but no game can actually run it. So it
More
is.
designed for
It's-
like VR.
It's
Yeah,
it's
but
a
it's
flawed. I'm not going to say flawed is probably the incorrect word. It's close as I can get to at the moment. but
It's probably a little bit ahead of it. It's come out a little bit too early.
Yeah,
it's too early.
exactly.
There's nothing out with RTX. But the thing
No.
is that for RTX to actually operate at a decent frame rate
Yes.
is ridiculous. The actual technology that goes into it is astounding. Like, don't get me wrong, NVIDIA have done a ridiculously good job.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that
They
they've
always
set
do though, yeah.
they've set the price point way too high for what it is. So
I think the issue there, right, is that when you're pioneering technology, it's expensive, right? Then they want to make some money back.
Yeah.
But they're probably, and the only people getting that right now would be special. Like they get it into the market. You got to think they're going to get some testing done on that. It's like people who queue outside Apple for an iPhone. People will buy it. And people have bought it.
Yeah, people have bought
and
it.
they've been
Yeah.
disappointed, but it's almost like when a new generation again, sorry to use iPhone, but it's like when a new iPhone comes out. Like people that queue up to get those phones generally run into an issue.
Yeah.
They'll get
Of course.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you wait a couple of months, then get it.
Well, that's the
Wait.
thing. Like, it is
Well,
a new
there's
card.
always
Like,
gonna be firmware
yeah, there's going to be firmware
always.
updates. That's what they're saying. When drivers come out, they'll be more compatible and everything like that. Like, don't get me wrong. This card is still an amazing leap in technology and still incredibly engineered amazingly well. And it is a better card. It is the best card on the market at the moment.
Yeah.
But that price point,
Newly says he's
It's
so
just where-
thirsty
yeah.
for this card.
I'm so thirsty for it too,
You are
man.
a thirsty,
But like,
thirsty bitch, Newlies.
but dead
Thirsty
set,
for
you
that.
could run two 1080 Ti's in SLI. It's
You
not
know,
worth it.
When
But
when I
yeah.
went to I used to build PCs like your donkeys years ago, like maybe 10 years ago. So I'm so out of touch with how to do it. But I know not a lot changes. But when I was ordering my PC, I was like, fuck it, I'm not even going to chance it. I'm just going to order from Scorp Tech. Shout out to Scorp Tech.
Clayton or South Melbourne?
There's one. The good thing
We
is,
know them all.
and-
Hey, I ordered from Clayton, so.
obviously being English as well, like you don't pay for any delivery. Every time I go to order something, I go, just as well I work in South Melbourne, I can just walk down the road and get whatever I want.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, I ordered a PC from them, and I clicked to like, I was talking to a guy I know, Aaron, who's our head of technology, and I was just like, I want two 1080 Ti's in there, and he was like, why? He was like, you're never going to use that. I was like, I just kind of want it. He was just like, don't do it, you're never going to use them. But it is almost worth doing that, like getting two of those cards in your machine rather than buy it until this is the
Well, actually, the thing is with SLI right now, that SLI, again, is almost like the cores thing. It's not optimized incredibly well. So one card will be just processing, for instance, physics.
Yeah.
The other card will actually be processing your textures, everything like that. So it is separating the workload, and you will get better frames, but the percentage of frames versus cost again, so it's all about that cost to performance, not worth it.
Yeah,
So for instance, the top three cards at the moment is the GTX 1080 Ti, the RTX 2080, and the RTX 2080 Ti. So here's some hard numbers for you. The 1080 Ti, that's our base level, right? The 2080 Ti only has increases at 4K, still can't run it at 60 frames.
Per second. So that's ridiculous.
So it still can't run it at 4K or anything like
So
that,
at
but it is a 3% increase on top of the 1080 Ti for an extra $300, $400.
But some people want to pay. Some people.
3%.
Some people will. But I think that's what we're missing here, right? Is some people want that extra 3%. Like
They do want that
some people
3%.
pay for that.
But they also want that RTX feature, but it brings back to my point is RTX is not worth it.
Yeah, me too. I probably would. I'm a sucker. I'm a total sucker for it.
Or you could pay an extra $1,200, $1,300 on top of a 1080 Ti and get 23% increase.
You can overclock them as well, can't you?
You can overclock them as well, but there will be stability issues just due to the nature of how new these cards are.
Excellent. All right, so let's we're going to wrap it up a bit, but before we do wrap it up, we're going to talk about tomorrow night. Gav, you guys are going to play a game called.
Yeah, you might have heard of it.
We talked about it a little bit today.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, so I think we'll be doing some Blackout. I think Jane will be showcasing some zombies, trying to do some stuff with that, and we'll be playing multiplayer as well. So we'll try and stomp for you guys.
Split screen is a feature as well.
Yeah, split screen. Yeah, you can. I think you can do one other player.
Yeah,
so.
I'm surprised they put that in.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to do some split screen technology now, but it's not actually working. With
No split
Click it
screen.
for you. Hold on.
Oh, we got this.
Oh, hang on. I'm pivot. There you go.
There we go.
There we go. We got split. Oh,
Manual. Is that not what you want?
No, that's not what I want.
What did you want?
I want not that one.
Large, that one.
That's the one.
Hey.
I
Right.
Split screen.
want. See.
Technology
Going
failure.
back to the Apple. So I'm lined
I
up
think
for
it's
this
crashed.
Apple.
It's not moving, is it?
No, it's not moving at all.
Oh well.
Totally not.
You win some, you lose some.
Exactly. So this is what you guys are going to play tomorrow.
Yep.
This is the zombie one.
Yeah, this is the zombie showcase.
And there was some controversy over this, wasn't there? Because this is an expansion pack.
Yeah, this is an expansion pack, so they've already announced the DLCs and all that sort of stuff. Some people are pissed about that. I can understand.
I didn't care.
But like, I'm enjoying the game at the moment. As much as I don't agree with that sort of practice of, hey, we've just built 100% of a game, let's take 30% of it out of it and put it against the paywall.
There's 12 maps though, dude. Like,
It is a lot.
I don't mind it.
But
Alright,
yeah.
guys, I think that's us wrapping up
Yeah,
there.
that's
So tune in again tomorrow night, same time.
Yeah, same time.
7
Yeah,
Will
p.m.
take care of us
Yep.
of what we're doing. So that'd be quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really good. So I like this. Hang on, I've got all connections going wrong here. So on that note, I will disappear from screen and turn off the stream.
Thanks, guys. Tune in again, and if you want to watch more videos, be notified when we're on. Just chuck us a follow.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, Sam.
yeah.
I like that. And we'll be doing more talk shows on Wednesdays, but Tuesdays and Thursdays are gameplay where you'll see young Gav actually doing a fantastic job, and there's a whole team that do a good job. Anyway, I'm disappearing.
But yeah, so if you haven't followed or anything like that, do that again, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, take care.